We're live on YouTube, everybody. About 8 minutes to spare. There is just some fucking issues with ChatGPT that I really have a bone to pick with them. All right. So as we can see, there is not much from the morning push that we had. Trading pretty sideways. I think that we're waiting until market open for right now. Tech stocks right now are pretty sideways in regards to price action, waiting for market open. Probably that volatile morning candle is going to come in and sweep liquidity. Let's go ahead and share this to our friends and family. Okay. Ugh. All right, guys, we are live. We are doing this. We have now broken, by the way, the trend line that we had made yesterday in the markets. We've broken it by a fair amount. We're now testing that 24,890 level on the market. Sideways trading and price action on the tech stocks this morning. Would be sitting on my hands for the first 5 minutes of the candle. Remember that we have news at 11 a.m. as well. That will be our ISM services PMI. All important factors inside of the market to make sure that we don't go and do anything stupid. Walter Bloomberg, we'll go ahead and check our news source for this morning to see what has been going on. Interesting. Right now I'm just going through my crypto trades. Some of them are uglier than the others. Bard was something that I had gotten on an order fill. I might back my Solana trade here just a little bit more, to be honest with you. Kind of like this sideways consolidation. Markets are coming down on 4 of the tech stocks right now. That would be Broadcom, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Nvidia. Still no news. Probably would expect to see it test the trend line, or at least the EMAs this morning. That was kind of a stupid dollar cost averaging spot. We'll have to see if it breaks out. I'm gonna lower this stop loss to the bottom of the range here. All right. Take a look at Mez. Still trading sideways. Gold. Short recovery, but not great. XAU, done that. Key support rejected on silver. I can trade Bitcoin on here? No way. Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing. 72,000 on futures on Bitcoin. To be expected on the buys that I had sent out. Earlier this week. I do expect to see some of the altcoin market to follow Bitcoin up. We have open here in 1 minute. Nice push down. Markets are pushing up and down. Volatile candles are entering every one of the tech stocks right now. We have a fight for control here as buyers and sellers step in, both looking to take the lead here on the morning candle. Looks like buyers are stepping in control. Look at that volatility stepping in. There was no way to predict candles like this, by the way. If you do try to predict these candles, it is just a gamble inside of the market. It is no way possible to have known to go long or short at that point. Sideways consolidation. I mean, we guess we were pushing up on the 15 minutes, so this would have been a continuation. At the level of 24,890, we would have taken a trade maybe above that level, but it wicked so quickly in the first minute that you would not have been able to enter a trade with confidence. Now, what I'd like to see in the first candle is how the 5-minute candle closes, right? That's going to give me an indication on what I would like to do with the rest of this trade. Look at that, I even took a little profit on Bitcoin today, mashallah. You know, that's all we do here. We just take in a little bit of money from every single sector of the market. I'll take some from the top shelf, I'll take some from the other top shelf. Cowboy Armand doesn't like to have losses. Solana's pushing nicely as well. Wait patiently here, guys. This is what we do. We're waiting very patiently for the next 4 minutes to let this candle close. That is the goal and overall secret sauce to trading the markets in the morning. Apple is up, Amazon is up. AVGO is battling right now. That morning candle that dragged it down about $17. We'll see if it can hold. Google is down. Meta is up. So we have 1, 2, 3 that are up right now from the morning candle. We are just about to close here on that 5-minute candle. Let's give it its grace for about 1 minute and 40 seconds. No need to rush into any sort of trades right now. Just yet. We are above the trend line of yesterday. That would mark a down or a markdown. That's giving us a little bit more confidence in the market to keep our longs active. Solana's pushing nice with grace. And then Q is pushing with grace. We're now back into the zone of our buys on the 2-minute. I'm going to delete these levels actually, redo them. So our new levels for today, let's get this on the 15-minute. Let's open this up. That first 5-minute candle just closed. Ignore that alert. Rough. All of that price action is being sold. That's rough. Remember that we have news here in 24 minutes. That is what I would probably be most likely waiting for. Oof. trying to see if we have a flip here on Solana as well. So we are range bound trading. I want to see a break out of this box with confidence. Leave that there for a minute. She's fighting. She's fighting. No doubt. MNQ is fighting. Okay. So I just want to do some education right now so everybody can understand what's going on inside of the markets. Do you see how the price action on the 2-minute and the 5-minute is just very close together on the 9 EMA? That means that price hasn't really decided the side that it wants to go to. That's why usually the 5-minute, their first 15-minute candles, they're kind of irrelevant to traders who do this for a living. And the reason for that is because we want clear indication that there is price action that is held over a course and period of time that gives us confluence inside of the market that moves price collectively throughout a period of time rather than just a volatile candle that comes in the form of order books swinging price in the form of buys and sells. We like to avoid things inside of the market that can ultimately here, let's try to get into a trade right now if it can give it to us. What I want to try to get into this trade under 24,850. I'm going to target a 25-point move in the market, so have your buys and sells ready here. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you can do something like that. Order pre-hits, presets, base hit. That's so cool. I'm gonna have to go through that later, to be honest with you. I just connected my order book from Tradeovate to TradeStation. This is cool stuff. That's what tick value, reward. Is there a way to change this to ticks? Yeah. That's it. I save that? I'll figure that out later. Nice. Cool. So I'm going to save that to 50-point move. Wow, that's so sick. They really do outdo themselves with these trading books. We're entering our entry point right now on MNQ. Okay. Now, remember, we've been trending sideways for the past 1 or 2 hours inside of this box, right? So just a heads up, just a reminder, we have news in 28 minutes. So if you're deciding to get in this trade, reminder, this is a high risk trade because the markets are pricing in a lot of different stuff right now. Okay, so if you're trading pre-news catalysts, just in 28 minutes, all of this could just go to shit because of what the news might say. So take it with a grain of salt. What I'm using right now is a regression channel to see how price has been regressing or progressing upwards. You can use this as an opposite tool to each other. The opposite tool that you're essentially using is in a regression trend, it's just going down. In a progression trend, it's trending up, right? So as you can see, right, at least for the past hour and a half, the only price action that we've had is just this very stale price action. We're at the bottom of this trend right now. So that's going to give it some sort of leverage to push it back up. Sellers are going to want to push it underneath that 20 EMA. So if you have a dynamic support or resistance line, that 9 EMA is acting as a dynamic resistance. The 20 is acting as a dynamic support. Okay, because they're constantly moving inside of the markets. Thus, realistically, now that I have a really good idea of what's going on in the markets, or a much better idea, I'd like my short to be underneath here, my long to be over here. Realistically above that market. So here we go. That's the push down. It's trying to break it outside of the channel right now. It's not successful. It's being pushed back up by buyers. There are a lot of there's a lot of flow inside of these order books right now that are keeping it inside of this channel right now. Okay, we've talked about this in previous videos where I've said you gotta know where to sit on your hands. You gotta know what when to deploy your equity. So if we were targeting a 50-point move, right now we're 15 points up, 20 points up, now back to 15. You see how volatile these swings are? This is why I kind of like a little bit more confidence inside of the market. Apple is coming down, Meta's coming down, Microsoft is sideways, Amazon is up, AVGO is sideways, Nvidia is sideways, Tesla is sideways, Google is sideways. There's just too much division inside of the market for me. I trade breakouts. The breakout here is not showing me any sort of confidence that we're going long or short. It's just a battle between buyers and sellers. This is where I have to just stay confident, stay patient, finger on the trigger, ready to pull, right? A safer bet right now would to be a break over that 24,890 mark, right? How would be a high confidence play if we have the tech stocks that are aligning with us, but we don't have that today. So price action is very shitty right now. All of those gains that we had on Solana as well, $30 given away. I'm not really liking this exit, to be honest with you. I'm not really liking this sideways price action. We could break out of this box, but we're not breaking out of the box. I got this decision making time right now inside of the markets, right? Do I continue to hold through? We already had a pretty nice gain on Bitcoin in the past few days. Solana looks like it wants to push out, but it's still stuck inside of this box. So what we can do, we can either stay patient, or what we can do is we can exit the trade. I'm going to stay patient on it just for a little bit while longer. I like to see some confidence inside of the market strike itself in. We're now getting that break over that 890 mark. Volatility is not supporting longs right now on the tech stocks. I'll tell you that right now. Apple being one of the biggest factors for MNQ is going down right now. It is the only weighted average right now that I would be absolutely worried about inside of the markets. Amazon is coming up, so that's another huge piece of the pie that is now pulling against each other like two trucks pulling in a different direction. Is that giving me more or less confidence in the market that things are working out for myself? Probably less. I don't want to deploy capital unintelligently here. I want to use my capital intelligently. I want to go ahead and make the right trade at the right time. And right now, nothing is telling me I'm making the right trade at the right time right now. Gnarly. All right. So with that being said, I like it there. That's a good spot. Capture my good side here. With that being said, we have not made any trades inside of the market yet. There is no trade. There is so much imbalance between the tech stocks and what MNQ is doing that I'm most likely going to wait the next 11 minutes to get the ISM manufacturing. ISM services PMI. That's going to be the next catalyst for me to trade. Excuse me. Let's take a look at some of the news that's happening. Trump sends Interior Secretary to Venezuela to push oil mining. Remember, I had said this before the Venezuelan infiltration. Banks were shorting silver, okay? Banks have been shorting silver. They have been shorting silver for quite some time now. And for those of you who don't believe me, there is a tweet on my Twitter that backs myself up here. I always back myself up with receipts. I said that banks were going to be shorting silver at 125. How do I know that? Well, sometimes Armand has a little bit of insider trading information. You know? Thank God I don't got my SIE anymore in my series. So, did I know that they were going to be shorting silver at that price? Yes. Did I take advantage of this by buying silver at 72, selling at 125? Yes, indeed. Now, what is the bank's next move going to be? Well, they're targeting Iran right now because Iran is the only loose point in their financial system to move from a world that is dominated by a single blockchain and US dollar dominance. That is what Wall Street wants right now. They want US dollar dominance, and they want to move the cryptocurrency industry to a singular blockchain that they can control. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're wrong. That is what Wall Street does. This is what they have, history on history on history of stories where they have shorted good companies to the ground. They have controlled and manipulated price inside of the financial markets, making the largest transfer of wealth from retail to institutional traders. For anybody who says that's not true, you're retarded. You're retarded. I'm sorry. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, right? And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to control the narrative on blockchain. That is why guys like Michael Saylor have literally invested billions and billions of dollars in cryptocurrencies. It is the only reason why he still has his money, because this guy understands that companies like BlackRock, Citadel, they're not stopping. They're going to keep going, they're going to keep buying, and they are going to keep manipulating and controlling, because that is the general theme of Wall Street. It has been for a very long time. So we are just players in the game here. We are the pawns that are willing to be sacrificed. So it is your decision to learn these financial markets every single day. It's why I get on these lives and I break down the markets for you. No, there has not been a trade. Yes, there has been a lot of volatility, but look how perfect, if you can see on my charts, that it did not break that regression trend. When I put the regression trend, the reason that I put it there to see if the dynamic support and resistance was going to give us a extra piece of confidence that inside of the markets right now, that is where we are going to reverse. And if you can see from the points on the regression trend, it is progressing upwards, creating these resistance and supports levels inside of this channel, right? So if we had any sort of trades today, if we were looking at the tech stocks, we would basically be trading this channel, right? And I would wait until we get to the high of the channel, or we have the low of the channel, which we just had a few minutes ago. Now, the problem is with why I did not take that trade. I didn't take the trade because of the news that we are going to have in the next 6 minutes. It could naturally just change the trading volume significantly in a different direction in a matter of a couple of seconds, right? These large buying and selling events are often met with decisions that are made inside of hedge funds before I'm able to react, or before I'm able to set a stop loss quick enough. I most likely am going to get stopped out quickly. It's why I hate trading news days. I mean, it's just not a really good formula for anybody to make money if they're going to be trading news days, unless this is something that you happen to be very, very good at and understanding the markets and how they move very, very quickly. Okay? With that being said, we have 5 minutes till this news comes out. We are waiting patiently for this news, which is ISM Services PMI. Let's take some time right now to understand what is ISM Services PMI, right? Understanding ISM non-manufacturing indexes and its key components. The ISM non-manufacturing index is an index that measures the economic condition and performance of the service-based companies, now called the PMI. The index is based on surveys sent to purchasing and supply companies of more than 400 service firms. It is part of the Institute of Supplies Management ISM reports on business, manufacturing, and services. So essentially, this is a index. This is a service that they provide inside of the markets to know the overall performance of purchasing and supply companies inside of 400 different service firms. So again, that's a little confusing. These firms are purchasing and buying products. They want to know the general health of how they feel about purchasing these products, right? And that gives us a reading inside of the market on how the supply and demand of companies, or the purchasing power of supply and demand of these companies are inside, or I'm sorry, let's back up here. So these companies purchase and buy things, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. This survey gives them an understanding of how they feel. Are they indicating growth? Are they buying a lot of stuff through that supply, or are they buying less of that stuff, which is indicating contraction, right? That's its most simple form. So this is overall showing us, are companies buying things or are they not buying things? If they are buying things, that means that we have a growing economy. If they are buying less of those things, that means that they have a contraction. Companies are trying to hold a little bit more cash, which means that we are a little bit more conservative. Okay? Be mindful here, in 3 minutes we do have that news. It is coming out. So let's sit on our asses here. Wish I could play some music, but you know, YouTube and Instagram, they don't really like when I play music. They say, fuck you, Arbad. You cannot play music. Okay, so being mindful here of the markets. Let's take a look at crude oil real quick. And then make a new commodity. No, I can just do that. Crude. It wouldn't surprise me if crude oil actually went to $100, to be completely honest with you. There we go. US oil. Crude oil. Let's take a look at the charts, because I don't trust anybody. I trust myself. I trust my own technical analysis. Has it ever hit $100 before? Oh yeah, 2014. What was the significant events in 2014, I must ask. All right, let's go back to M&Q real quick. Let's watch as we have our candle in the next 30 seconds here. Tech stocks are going pretty quiet right now. Dropping in 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazon is rocketing since this morning. Okay, so we have a higher percentage of PMIs, so that means that companies are buying stuff, economy is growing. We're now getting a higher confidence on longs right now. I just don't love that we're very close to the 9 EMA here on the 2-minute. We haven't really broken out of this high from this morning. That's why my safe longs will probably be around 25,000. Just above that, to be honest, 25,021. I'll wait. Could cost me the trade. I did say longs above this level right here. These were my 2 levels this morning. Solid push. Solid push though. I told you guys that's indicating that there's bullish price action, or at least companies are buying the supply of things. So remember this, right? In times of high uncertainty, we go back to the gold standard. But in times of war, companies are buying the shit out of things. Why? Because the United States of America is the greatest consumers in the world. So if we are in a high consuming period of time, the supply of products needs to be high to meet demand. Simple economics, right? Right? So if that's the case right now, then companies are going to continuously making products for the United States so that people can be able to consume these products and they make a profit at the end of the day. This is why I said, though, I did not like just hopping into those longs because of how tight that trading pattern is on the 2-minute. It's not really convincing me that it is like super bullish. Then the tech stocks as well, right? We keep pumping back to the tech stocks. Amazon is the only thing that's really holding up the entire market right now. Nvidia is chopping pretty heavily sideways. Let me pull that up for you guys. Hang on. Boom. All right. Right? Apple's coming down. It's chopping sideways, but it's coming down just a little bit. Now it's breaking those lows from the morning. Amazon is up, right? But Amazon can't be the only thing that's holding the market. What does that look like on AVGO? Sideways. Not great. Google is trending up, but if you look at the overall trend, it's chopping. Down, down, down a little further. The dollar index cuts losses after U.S. services data, so now the dollar is coming up. What did I just talk about? How the strength of the dollar is what's the main concern for Wall Street right now in the administration. They want a strong dollar. They want a strong economy. They want your dollar to be able to go farther inside of this economy. But that's not really true, is it? Because all that companies need to do is just raise their prices, which is what they have been doing. They just stronger dollar, then they raise prices. Stronger dollar, they raise prices again. Right? They don't want to see you win. They want to see you just die an unhappy death. Sideways, sideways. Bullish, slightly bullish, slightly bullish, sideways, 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 sideways. So if you're going to make a trade, just know you have C+ confidence at best. C+ confidence. It ain't nothing special today. Even with those news events, nothing special. It's so sad, right? I made a couple bucks though. All right, we had a $50 day today. Damn, it doesn't show me my P&Ls. Oh, there's right there. $71 for the day. Remember, I made a little trade on Bitcoin today. I didn't even know you could trade Bitcoin on Trade-of-8. That's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. I'm going to tell all my friends. You can literally trade Bitcoin on prop firms now. That's fucking awesome. Like, we are literally in the future, my boys. The future and women. Okay? Take a look at some other stuff here in the markets. Where's ENA? There it is. Sorry, I'm just reading some stuff here. Okay. Like I said, people, look at the percentage that we've changed today on MNQ. It's not anything special. We're now pushing up to those higher highs. It's a slow gain for today, since that morning open. I gave you the level at 24,890. I said you could take this long. It's a little bit more risky. We're now 85 points above that long level. So I mean that's a solid play for the day. I did not take any trades today. It did not align with anything that I had on my trading strategy, other than the little Bitcoin long that I had taken this morning. Remember, I'm a really high confidence confluence trader of breakouts. So maybe there's a trade that's going to come in the markets for me. Maybe it will present itself, but it hasn't shown me any sort of confidence inside of the market to take a trade for today. I did say that I would possibly take a trade if it had continuation over the 25.40 mark. I want to see it kind of break out of this progression trend and continue to shoot upwards. But if the tech stocks aren't going to give me that extra level of confidence inside of the market, then what's the real point of deploying equity inside of the markets if it's not going to be a high confidence play, right? Bitcoin has broken out almost $5,000 since the buys that I had said to my friends. So that's amazing. I mean, we're already taking advantage of those markets, and the buying long opportunities that are now presented. Solana looks like it's coming back into that area where it does want to break out of that box. We have had a small consolidation on crypto, making it seem like it wants to kind of break out of this area. We've already regressed very, I'd say very heavily on cryptocurrencies. Like this, coming back down almost 50% off of what we were previously trading at is a deep discount on crypto, right? I mean, that's obvious for any sort of trader that to have on their order books. We were trading at 125. We've come back down to as low as 59,000 on the order books. That's a 50% discount. Like fuck, like for you not to be buying at 50% off is crazy. That's like that's a fire sale. I'll keep continuing to look for trades here. We are approaching the hour point, so I only do this for an hour every single morning. Other than that, I'm just probably going to set my alerts and go focus on doing some mobility exercises, as I got cooked yesterday at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So my ankle is fucked up. I got to go ice it again in the cold plunge. Probably go take a whole cold plunge, come back. If there's anything in the markets, I'll have like a nice little reset point. My allergies are also kicking up. That's crazy. Pandas are crazy. That's sick. I'm getting distracted here. watch this later. All right. Back to Walter Bloomberg. Iran allowed. Let's take a look at the cryptocurrency market. Do it once every day with you guys. Exchange. See if we can find any meme reversal. I've been seeing River for the past couple days. I haven't seen why River has been a good short. Tip into it. Come on, give me some oomph. Do I got money in the spot account? Got a dollar cost average some of these positions down. Okay. We are just about there, my friends. We're just about there. I am going to set my alerts, okay? And I would like to see a breakout above that 25,040 level. Okay. If we get to this level right here, set an alert here. If we can get to this point right here, I will look to either take a long or a short as a reversal trade. If it continues to trend, I expect it to most likely do something as like this, come back down, then test up, or it will just test up. That's it. Like there is really no like difficulty with this. It's either just gonna break and just go straight up, or it's going to test, come down, and then come back up. We have strong momentum for bullish price action in the market right now since this morning. That is evident with the price action that we have inside of this progression channel. Now, that doesn't give us a absolute, but we did break the trend line yesterday that indicated the bearish price action. This is now a lower low to a higher low to a high, a lower low to a higher high to a lower high to a higher high. However, we have this resistance at this point at 25,100. So that is interesting. Will we break out and continue the upward action? We're already up 1% for today. So that is also 500 points that was gained since this morning inside of the markets. Not really. Let's say since this morning it was a 200 point gain in the market. So be mindful of this kinds of stuff. The markets do like to move around like 2 to 500 points, 500 to 1,000 points. Today's the day's range is about 500 points since our 6 p.m. close yesterday. So we are at the high point of the 500 point range inside of the markets for today. If we continue to keep going in the markets, then I expect it to most likely get that resistance at that 25,100 level. So you still have 90 points to make inside of the market if you want to take that risky play. I gave you the trade. I kind of gave you the trade formality, not really the trade myself. At 24,890, I said this is a good entry level. I would probably take this if I was a little bit more of a risk advantageous trader, but it's not within my trading plan. Right now we have Apple looking like it wants to come up. Amazon is continuing to come up. AVGO is coming up from that 9 a.m. candle and now is breaking into new highs. Google is inside of the 9 p.m. or I'm sorry, the trading section or the trading zone of the box. And it's not really moving too much. $5 on Google is very, very low price action. Meta is now breaking into new highs for the market. So that's at least two coins or two stocks that are pushing to higher highs in the market. Let's see my cryptocurrency. Solana looks like it's breaking out. That's amazing. Taking a very, very nice trade right there on Solana. We're now inside of that area of the markets where I said that I would be interested in going long. Maybe I stay here for just a couple more minutes instead of talking myself out of going and doing what I need to do. Let's try to make a little bit of money. I would not be going short here, guys. We're above the 9 EMA. We're above the 9 EMA, the 20, the 50 EMA on the 5-minute. We're above all of them on the 15 minutes. So this is indicating strong price action inside of the markets. Remember that it is now going to test the high of that progression chart that I had on the 15-minute that I had taken out because it's no longer relevant. We've broken out of that section. What I was expecting to see it do is come back down, test the 9 EMA, right, as that dynamic support inside of the markets and continue the uptrend first. Or what it's going to do is it's just going to continue to rocket to that 25,100 where it will have its set static resistance level inside of the market. Remember, there is differences between static and dynamic stop losses inside of, or I'm sorry, support and resistances inside of the market. And right now, the EMAs are acting as a dynamic support for the market. It looks like we're just going to push that to that 25,100 area. Volume is picking up inside of the markets, but again, my rule set is telling me to stay away from this trade because we are also approaching that 11 a.m. Price action tends to go stale at 11 a.m. That is a factual piece of information. I didn't make that up. It looks like we really want to break out on Solana as well. Being 200 bucks or 200% on a trading day on Solana is really, really good. I want to see a breakout here. This is the knock knock boom candle. I'm going to take out my original investment. I'm also going to set my stop loss at break even here on Solana. I don't believe in losing money right now. Okay. And I'm going to set a realistic take profit as well. the next zone right here at the 100. That's going to be my set trade for the day. So I took my initial investment out, which was $20 or $30 of margin, $20 of margin inside of the trade. So I've already capped myself at what I had put inside of the trade. I took $10 out. I took the $20, which is what I originally put inside of the investment. I will let this run. I would let this run with stop loss at break even, because I am on my brain is kind of telling me with this trade that if we do come down and we test these lower areas of the 76, that would be the ultimate price that I would necessarily want to buy at, right? So that would be a buy better order on Solana. If we come down further, then I'm just going to keep on buying, because Solana has been a solid coin in every single bull run that we've had inside of the markets. We're now seeing that the volume is starting to teeter out on MNQ. I would not be surprised if we still touch that 100 point, but then flash crash back down to that dynamic support on the 9 EMA. Until then, stay patient. Stay patient. What I'm telling you is it's not set in stone, right? There is a resistance level here. Put it. It's there. It's not going anywhere either. I'll show you. When price gets to about right here, honestly, all of these come up, but it comes and crashes back down to this level right here. So we're at a resistance level right now on MNQ. There's no reason to sell. This is a bullish price action. Bullish price action. Bullish price action. No reason to sell. But we have now entered another resistance level inside the market. I will come back later, and maybe I will go live at around 2 o'clock to see if we can get any trades at the end of the day. Until then, I'm going to go just reset my mindset. Cooked. There we go. We got that 100. I said it. It's going to touch it. And it looks like it wants to continue without the tech stocks, honestly. All right, guys. Well, it's been great. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Honestly, it is a pleasure doing this every single morning with you guys. I was able to walk you guys through at least one of the trades, which was over 100 points on MNQ. That was a very solid trade for us for a couple of different reasons. I did not take the trade myself, was because I did not really have the confidence on the tech stocks. When tech stocks trade sideways, it typically tells me to sit out rather than risk my equity. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, roughly half 50% of the tech stocks right now are bullish. Or showing bullish price action inside of the market. The other 4 are trading sideways and looking to become bullish. That would give us a little bit of a higher confidence play. ISM manufacturing or ISM services PMI, which gives us the understanding of how the markets move or how these 400 companies are either buying or selling supply. It was positive for us. So companies are buying supplies of items. They are creating a lot of products inside of the markets, which was bullish for us overall. So I'm not surprised that the markets are continuing being pushed up. Now, I want to just stay vigilant right now and not going and doing anything too hastily inside of the market. We are approaching the limitation of where I trade for only really an hour in the morning. Maybe an hour and a half, which pushes it a little bit more. but was able to walk you guys at least through my trading process and methodology with this morning. We're up 364 points in the market right now. Remember, I told you that the markets like to move about 500 points to 1,000 points a day. We're now capping at the top of that level, so this would be kind of like a FOMO, if not jumping into a trade that's chasing a little bit more. Even though it's trading level to level and we just approached another level, we have to also take into account the price action that we missed for this day. Okay, I did also make just a little bit of cash today, so I'm not really too upset about it. I will come back later and see if I can make my bag for the rest of the market. I just want to also reset my mindset. Staring at these charts does do something to your mentality. When you do stare at them for a long period of time, you tend to go a little bit of crazy. So I am going to take a step back for a little bit. I will come back a little bit later and see if we can make a trade at the end of the day as well. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day and see you later.